a major crypto dump during September. Well, at least that's what I'm reading everywhere. Can it happen? Well, we're going to find out in this video. We're also going to understand that should certain scenarios play out, how to use a bunch of incredible tools to be able to identify some of the best opportunities to make big gains during this bull market. I'm also going to talk about some of my highest conviction plays towards the end, so make sure you stick around for that. Hit the like button, this is an important one. Now guys, before we jump across and start looking at my high conviction plays and start looking into some key tools that you need to know about, what's going on? Bitcoin suddenly dipping into an area this morning was down around $57,200. And as you look at this chart, things don't look amazing, you have to admit, with the prices taking a dip lower and lower. So why the panic? Well, it seems to me that many people have forgot that September traditionally follows August. And September, according to this, is one of the worst months for crypto, which many people are thinking means that we're guaranteed to have a red September. Whilst there is a chance, there is also times when September's been pretty bullish, like last year, for example, and also back in a previous halving year, 2016. So what are the threats that could lead to a September being red or green? Well, guys, I'm here to tell you something you probably don't want to know. It could happen. Well, guys, realistically right now, we are set for the biggest bull market you've ever seen. Why? M2 money supply is flying. We've got the presidential election year, which if you look at this chart in 2016, tells a story of a very aggressive bull market. If you look at this one from 2020, it tells the story of a very aggressive bull market. And as we look into this chart right now, it tells the story of a very aggressive bull market. We've also got the chance of rate cuts. We've also got a high probability of interest rate cuts going on this month, which is ultimately good for risk on asset, of which crypto are risk on assets. So all things are looking rosy, but there is something that sticks in the way of all of this, and it's market manipulation, something that can happen, something that we're not able to understand whether or not it's going to happen at any point, but can only really witness it once it has happened. Therefore, the brighter people watching this video will realize that yes, we are in a bull market, and yes, we are going to be seeing gains from October onwards. What happens in September, however, is open for manipulation, and that means it's very difficult to know. But it's so straightforward, because if crypto dips towards the downside, inevitably the market is going to continue to pump back up because of all the things I've just mentioned. But because sometimes September is a bullish month, we don't want to sell waiting for lows to get back in because that's incredibly risky. Therefore, we should just be prepared should a dump happen to happen. Now, I personally don't think it's coming. I actually think that we're finding support in this area here and that this was the worst we've seen for Bitcoin so far. Why? Because everyone is crying everywhere that crypto is going to get worse, and typically it never does. But I've been wrong before, and I'm sure I'll be wrong again. Therefore, I don't want to speculate on whether or not something can happen. I'm just going to be prepared should it happen. And that's what I'm going to teach you right this second. Now, guys, if you go across to Twitter, you go across to YouTube, you're probably pretty bloody confused because some people are calling for meme coins. Some people are saying that crypto's over. Some people are saying this, some people are saying that. Because there is one area that is pretty much guaranteed to perform strongly once the markets return to looking strong again. Hopefully you get what I mean by that, okay? And there's guarantees because there's a bunch of different things that we want to pay attention to. Key strong narratives. Key strong narratives will perform strongly once again once the market looks strong. How do you know? Well, they always do, okay? And then we'll identify in a moment how we can identify strong narratives. What other things? We need to identify strength in on-chain data. And I've actually found a really cool website that I've not looked at before, and I'm going to show you how to use, and we can use that. And we need to pay attention to overall influence in the market, what's really happening behind the scenes, and who really drives different price action. So where first to look? Well, remember, strong narratives are key during crypto bull markets, because strong narratives will do well. So where do we go? Go to Bloomberg.com or any news channel of your choice, and you can see whatever's going on. And just click on the technology sector, and you can see a few different things to pay attention to. Taiwan says Trump wrong to say Ireland took its US chip industry. So what's all this about? Well, obviously everyone's now starting to argue over chips. Why? Because AI chips are the most important thing in tech right now. How do we know that? Well, Nvidia has gone from being like the 10th biggest company in the world to like the 3rd biggest company in the world in the space of like a year. Its revenue has gone up 120% in a year, which is absolutely bonkers. So what? Well, it means that AI is clearly a narrative to be paying attention to. And you're like, yeah, I know, but yeah, the AI coins have been underperforming. They haven't really. Okay, they actually haven't. They just feel like they have because you probably aped into them in March, okay, when they were blowing up. For those of you who were buying into like Fetch AI and stuff during last year, which was the pre-bull market phase, then, you know, you probably got in at the bottom of the bear market around November, and then you saw gains up to around 54x. Okay, now you're still up around 17 or 18x. You only feel like it's painful because you aped in late, like every good retailer does, but you've had your fingers burned, you've learned your lesson. Fortunately, you've done that now and not during the bull market, which is what most people entering into now will do. Okay, so this is an indicator that AI will prosper once again. Okay, I'm not saying necessarily fetch AI. There is a bunch of AI coins. Possibly as well, this is what we saw with the success from ICP last year. You saw Render having a crazy pump as well, up 31, 32x. So most people who've been in crypto since the bottom of the last bear market, which happened in November 2022, are all really sat in profits. So actually, AI coins have now pulled back quite significantly and will get strong again. And you can see that that's going to happen. And why is that? Well, because AI is such an obvious play in this bull market. You already knew that, though. You already knew that AI is going to perform well, whether or not these crypto projects are suited for AI or not. And there are going to be differences between some AI projects and others. And later on in this week, I will kind of like look at these different AI projects in more detail, talk about some upcoming AI projects that I'm also very bullish on. Now, as well as checking the news, which is obviously not like a groundbreaking tool, go and look at trends.google.com. And you can go and look at other things. Other narratives I think will do well. Depin. You can see as well, Depin had a very strong run when Bitcoin and everything was pumping back in March. Once Bitcoin starts to pump again, it makes sense that Depin will do well. And like some Depin projects are already doing pretty well. Like Helium's having a great run in the last few weeks. Since July, it's up over 160%. And why is that? Because Depin projects are typically getting used quite heavily, okay? Depin projects are actually getting utilized and used. That's another big thing you should be paying attention to. So, for example, I spoke to Aether the other day. Aether has got a revenue right now around $30 million, which is bigger than every other compute service provider out there. So, Akash's, IO.net, Render. Aether's making more money than all of them put together. That's worth having a look into as well. Depin, AI, pretty much a no-brainer, okay? Because Depin and AI kind of fit together, although Helium is not kind of AI Depin. You've also got Peak Network, which is launching at the end of this month, which potentially could do better than a lot of other new launches more recently. New launches haven't been having a great time, but they will. What other areas to pay attention to? Well, obviously DeFi tends to do all right, but actually, historically, DeFi hasn't really done that well around times of interest rate cuts. I do think DeFi will have a run, but maybe it's not going to come right this second. But there's obviously a load of different narratives and a load of different coins, okay? Can't go too far wrong by focusing towards AI and Depin. But there's other narratives that people are really excited about, like meme coins. And many of you are right, okay? Meme coins have pretty much dominated this bull market so far. At least it feels like that, okay? Wasn't really true if you go back to March, but now we're seeing meme coins going crazy. We're seeing Solana scrap it out with Tron on the meme coin circuit. But investing in individual meme coins is fucking risky, okay? You know it's risky. Some of you have made good money, but majority of you have lost a lot of money in meme coins. Let me know down below whether you've made money on memes or lost money in memes, because I think it'll be interesting. Also, feel free to shill me your favorite memes down below. Maybe I'll give them some coverage in a future video. But let's get across and look at some real data, some real nerdy shit, okay? Because this is really important. Why is it so important? Well, this is tokenterminal.com, and there is a paid version of this, but it's expensive, okay? So we're just going to use the free one, and this is the homepage. I'm on home, and I'm looking at gainers. And what you can see down below is a bunch of different things to pay attention to. Because it's going to bring to your attention a lot of coins that are actually starting to do quite well that maybe you haven't even thought about. And this is always very important to link these coins with price action on charts. Because just speculating on this has got really good tech and it's going to go to the moon because it's backed by XYZ influencer and, you know, it's the new Bitcoin. Unless someone proves to me that it's the new Bitcoin, then it's not. So use this data and you can see some interesting things. Obviously here you've got the market caps and the market cap's rising. We've got Helium up here, which we've just talked about. Echelon Prime as well, which is AI gaming crossover. So that's another interesting one. But we want to work out down below why they might be sort of starting to see some growth. Now looking at bridge deposits, this is all about layer 2s. You can see that layer 2s aren't really going to be breaking that many highs in the coming weeks because nothing's really happening over here. What we can see down below, total value locked. Now, in the past, I've already talked about real-world asset tokens. Again, this is a very key narrative. Why? Because BlackRock tells everyone they're tokenizing assets. Crypto, real-world assets are the future. As soon as BlackRock tweets something like that, everything goes crazy. BlackRock says stuff like this quite a lot. There's a good chance that real-world assets have a very good run during this bull market. We talked about in the past, Ondo Finance partnered with BlackRock. We talked about OM Mantra, again, partnered with someone in Dubai who's worth trillions, pretty useful. And then you can come down to the TVLs. Maple Finance, a coin that we've been bringing up quite regularly on this channel because we saw that the TVL was pretty big compared to the market cap. And you can see that TVL is up $4.51 million in a week. That's pretty good because the market cap of Maple Finance is under 100 mil. And just using this as an example, go across to DeFiLlama.com. You can search for Maple Finance. You can see, okay, market cap's 126 mil. I was wrong. Sorry. But the total value locked is at 93 million and the total value locked here is going up. Okay, so you would expect to see maybe the price of Maple going up. So we come across to a chart, we can see that Maple Finance has actually been performing relatively strongly considering the rest of the altcoins have been demolished. And that's all because of on-chain data that you could have easily been paying attention to using DeFi Llama and Token Terminal. This is really useful. Now going back to Token Terminal, we can pay attention to other few things. There's other coins on here that I've never even heard of, okay? And you can go and have a look into some of these and have a look at what they might be doing. This is really key because instead of looking at all the stuff that people are talking about, for whatever reason, you're like, oh, it's sponsored by this, it's sponsored by... Who cares? Why are you speculating on that when you can go and do the work yourself and find out whether they're just telling you rubbish or whether they're actually telling you something legit? So we can see down here, total value locked gives a good indicator of maybe coins that might be doing well within the real world assets sector. Okay, you can come down below trading volumes. If you want to bet on dexes, go and look at some of these trading volumes for different dexes. Pretty easy, right? We can go down below, you can see active loans and lending, which is interesting because you then see again Maple Finance at the top. Goldfinch down here. Goldfinch also seeing some good strength, considering small market cap coins. Easy, right? So straightforward to just go and really narrow down right away. In terms of real world assets, what are you looking for? Well, you're looking for coins that have got good TVLs or borrowing and lending rates. This again, you can see over on DeFi Llama, you can see like different volumes, you can see what's been borrowed. So you can use these kind of little different sectors here. So you can see the borrowing on Maple Finance is going up. And I'm not just going to use this because people will be like, oh, you know, you just talk about Maple Finance. Clearpool again, TVL's been going up, been pretty successful. Market cap, however, has also been going up. So real world assets is very closely linked to this data. You don't have to speculate on what you see. Very straightforward, okay? Go and check out Clearpool, go and check out Maple Finance, whichever one you want. I'm not going to convince you to buy one or the other, okay? But go and have a look. Now, what you've probably seen on this homepage that's incredibly important is this on the right-hand side. And you can see the kind of fees structure. What does this tell me? This is layer ones, layer one ecosystems. This is really important. Fees show kind of transaction volume. Doesn't show completely transaction volume because Ethereum's expensive as and Solana, for example, is much cheaper. But the fees are very interesting. Ethereum is at the top here. Then you've got Tron. What on earth is Tron doing there? No one was talking about Tron until 2 weeks ago when I made a video on Tron and what was going on with Sunpump 4 days into Sunpump's life. And if you missed that, it's probably because you're not subscribed and you haven't got that notification bell on. Is it on? Okay. We can carry on then. Well, we can see Tron was down here. We then see down below, you know, the fees on everything else. You've got Bitcoin. And then you go down the list. And then you got Solana down here, all the way down here. So doesn't it make sense then that now Solana, if we look at a price chart, hasn't really been doing anything? Okay, so the fees have dropped completely for Solana, which has meant the price has dropped. In comparison, you got the volume on Tron, which has been going bonkers. And so the Tron ecosystem is up. It's really not about having like favorite coins or anything like that. Okay, it's literally looking into the data and understanding where people are going. These projects, many of them are just speculative BS. But actually, if you want to find ones that have high conviction, they're the easiest to find. Okay, because they're showing you the data. They're showing you that people are starting to use a platform and the volume tells you why Tron's going up. Okay, people are using it. You might be like, oh, I don't like Justin Sun, or I don't care, Kate. I just don't care. Who cares? Okay, think about what people are using, and that's a very easy way to find high conviction plays. So, okay, if we've got Tron up here, then there's things that I think are worth paying attention to. So again, go to DeFi Llama, and what you can do is you can search on the chain. So for example, now that Tron's like firing up, I'm not saying necessarily that you have to go and ape into Tron, okay? But you can see Tron's firing up. Go and have a look at it. And then come down below and you can see some different things that are of interest. Now, we talked about Sun, and we talked about why Sun was probably the platform that was going to see significant growth. And why is that? Well, because Sun is the native token of Sunpump. Sunpump has just outdone Pump.fun in terms of revenue. So you don't have to go and speculate on buying meme coins or anything like that. You can buy the platforms that are basically running the whole meme coin show. People can keep losing and making money in meme coins, and people holding Sun have just continued to make money. So pay attention to these ones underneath this ecosystem that are benefiting the most from the Tron movement. because it's telling you if Tron has suddenly just flipped like Solana and everything else in terms of fees and volume, it means that it's happening because of just a few platforms on here. And if it's happened in the last month, you can select the coins down below that are on the protocol, you can sort by 1 month change, and you can find the coins down below that are responsible for the growth in Tron. Maybe these then give you a higher risk bet than placing your money into Tron, but you're also benefiting from the growth of the Tron ecosystem. This is just as straightforward. Personally, I've been holding Sun for the last couple of weeks, since the Sun Pump launch thing went live, and also no-brainer because of this. Just in Sun, 3.6 million followers, multi-billion-dollar net worth, whether you like him or not, is very influential in crypto. And every day, he's telling you why Sun Pump is going to keep growing, and he's going to keep burning fees and all these other things. Okay, so putting all these things together makes life quite easy. Okay, so yes, you can use influencers to try and like continue to support your narratives. Okay, but find the real like strength and narrative in this stuff, because this is where your real data, your real truth can be found. Yes, other coins out there will do well where you can't really see much in terms of like growth of ecosystems, okay, but that's more on speculation. Speculation is higher risk. Again, Ton, and I'm not telling you to go and buy this, I'm just saying Ton volume, look, the pink lines here show good growth from about April. So if you go back and look at Ton from about April, in fact before that, when the volume started to increase, Ton was outperforming the market. Right now, it is dipping towards the downside after the CEO got arrested in France, but lots of people are kind of fighting against that. I bought some on this dip, assuming that he probably would get released at some point. If he doesn't get released, eventually he will get released. So maybe it comes lower, maybe it doesn't. Okay, but this is all seemingly obvious. So all I'm saying is that yes, during a full-blown bull market, almost every altcoin that you hold will be seeing a rally, okay? And you should not feel too concerned whilst you are probably staying heavily in the red with many of your coins if you got in during March time, which I know many people did, by the nature of how markets work, because that's when lots of retail come in, when the prices look good and promising, and then people just leave when the prices are down, when actually you should just do the opposite, okay? So you should have been buying and very active when everyone was crying about FTX, and then like when the market pumped towards the upside, you should have been like taking holiday and selling up. But we didn't do that, okay? We learned our lesson. Ton looks strong. And if I'm asking you, like, why buy into this coin? Why buy into that? And you're like, oh, well, because it has, like, unique technology and it has this and that. That's cool. And they might work during the speculation phase of the bull market, which isn't really here yet. But really very easy to go and find these coins right now, okay? Lower risk. All I'm saying, I'm not telling you to buy any of these by any means. I'm showing you just how to find different coins that are worth talking about, okay? Because if the markets do take a dip, for whatever reason, although right now Bitcoin is actually going up, which is good, but if Bitcoin takes a sell-off and goes down here again, or maybe even lower, like some people are saying, who knows? I don't think it's going to happen. But if it happens, here's where you go and find the opportunity. You don't just ape into stuff that's based on speculation, because those will find it harder to get back up. You go and find the ones that are actually being used, that actually probably won't be damaged that much during these dumps. And you can see this in the price action. Look, Maple Finance has kind of been, not blowing anyone's mind recently, but it hasn't really been doing too badly when you go and compare it with other coins. Tron, basically near all-time highs and continuing to rally. Again, pretty impressive considering the rest of the market's been selling off for 6 months. It's absolutely nothing about having favorites, okay? So use Token Terminal, okay? Use DeFi Llama and teach yourself not to rely on anyone. Don't need to rely on me. You don't need to rely on anyone else. If you're relying on someone else, no matter how good you think they are, you'll probably get burned in this market. Only you have the ability to be successful in this bull market, okay? Following someone else is going to be very dangerous because you're only going to pick and choose what they say. Right now, I might be telling you to buy and all the coins go up and you feel really good about it and you're like, yeah, this guy, he knows his stuff. But then it's going to get to the top of the bull market and I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm selling, guys. And you're going to be like, this guy's bearish as fuck. Yeah, I don't trust him anymore. Yeah, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. And you're going to go and find another influencer who's telling you to keep buying and eventually you're going to hit a bear market. And, that's all your fault because you've just tried to listen to one person. So ultimately, do your own research, and this is how to do it. And if you want to continue to have tutorials on how to do your own research, then make sure you're subscribed, okay? No brainer. Absolutely no brainer. We'll look at some wallet tracking. We'll look at how to find good games. We'll look at how to track social media, so many other things. So easy. Now, if you want some of this deep insight stuff shared with you on a daily basis like this in an Alpha and Gems call, which myself and 2 other experts run full-time, as well as to access weekly live Zoom calls with myself and other CEO guests from different crypto projects that you can go and ask questions directly to and find out more information within just an hour or so, then make sure you get yourself into the Moon House, which is linked down below in the description, and we'll literally hold your hands through this crypto bull market. Right now, things are a bit shaky. Ups and downs can happen on a daily basis. If in doubt, zoom out, go and have a walk around outside. Things will be better. I promise you, at some point in the coming weeks and months, you're going to completely forget all the hardship and sadness that you've been through during this time and be grateful for the fact that you've been through a bit of a downside in the market, because times are going to get much better. I promise you that. Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye-bye.